I wonder if you're going to have an answer for this, and if you don't, that's fine. What was the biggest miss that you had in your mind early on that you're like, we're done? Like, there's no coming back from this, that you somehow found a way to get through? Did you have like a certain miss where you're like, we just blew it right there, boys?
So when I would go to early on, when I would go to Ecuador, I hated the amount of money that we were having to spend on taxis. Because you don't think about it here in the States. You have a vehicle. Since I was 16, I've been able to drive, which is a product of, being very fortunate with the parents that I had that, Pops worked with me at a very young age at driving. So at 16, I got a car. I can do whatever I want. You have all the freedom in the world.
Yep.
Well, when we would go to Ecuador, I always had to pay for these taxis. Taxi. I'm like, sure, the taxis to like otherwise here in the States would be $45. They're $7, but still, it's like when you don't have $7 to spend, again, the intersection of urgency and importance, you're like, hey, I want to find a new solution. So, talking with Arturo, he supposedly has a friend that has vehicles that we can rent.
I love it. Arturo had a friend for something.
Rent this truck, and I'm doing the math like, oh my God, we can do these farmer visits for $35 a day plus gas instead of $120. This is a no-brainer.
Oh yeah.
Ecuador is petroleum producing nation, so gas, not diesel, but diesel is very, very cheap. Yeah. Unleaded is actually higher than here in the States. So like if we had a diesel vehicle,
it's like $1.20 a gallon or something. It's like that.
Yeah, nothing. So we decided to rent this vehicle, and long story short, blew up the.
Is it battery?
No, get the bottle out of it.
Oh, my bad. Sorry, she's a perfectionist.
That's right.
I like it.
Long story short, blew up the engine of the truck.
You driving or?
I was driving.
Oh, what did you feel?
I was with CV.
Going up the mountain.
I was with CV. It was early in the morning. It was just me and him coming back to Zaruma.
From a farmer meeting?
From in Piñas.
Okay.
We had stayed there overnight. We had worked at the processing facility late. Driving back the next morning, Arturo wasn't even up yet. And I look at CV and I'm like, I have no power, dude. I have no power. Like I was pressing the gas all the way down. I'm going nowhere. So we come to a rolling stop. As soon as we stop, all this smoke. And so, not knowing what was going on, I flip the hood up and I tell CV, like, we run behind this house, grab these buckets, fill it up with water, and start dumping it on the motor. And I'm just worried that the whole vehicle's about to catch on fire, just spitting out black smoke. Not white smoke, as if we just ruined the radiator.
Yeah.
And
black smoke.
No, and there's this group of guys that are driving by that like see us, and they're like, "No ponga el agua, no ponga el agua." Like, don't put the water. Like, don't put water on it. Don't put water on it. I didn't think anything of it. We just start dumping buckets of water, ruin the block in the motor, bust the block, and stuff spills out all over the place. It's done. Like, the whole thing's done. And so we tell Arturo, and long story short, they didn't have oil in the motor when we rented the vehicle from this person. Well, it wasn't official, like, Hertz rental car.
Yeah, that's not Enterprise.
Not Enterprise.
That's a friend of Arturo's.
And so we take the vehicle back, and he's like, you got to pay me for the vehicle. Dude, I didn't have a pot to.
Was he hot?
Pissing.
Was he hot? Like,
he was pissed.
He was pissed off.
But it was, and Arturo, like, in that moment, if he'd have looked at me and been like, you have to pay.
You would have.
I would have had no choice. Yeah. We wouldn't have been able to buy a single pound of coffee. We'd have been SOL. And instead, Arturo looks at the guy and just starts just going at him, telling him it's his fault. He gave us a faulty vehicle. And it got really, really hot. Like, I literally thought Arturo and this guy were about to fight, like fist fight, dude. Like, they were just going at it. And Arturo, looks at me and he's like, come on. Bang, bang, bang. And so he just starts taking off running to Gerardo's truck. And so we get to the truck, we jump in, and Gerardo takes off. And so I'm shaking, dude, like, oh my God.
Is Carter still with you at that point?
Oh yeah. CB's in the truck. He's like, hell just happened. And so Arturo wouldn't let us leave the house for the remainder of the trip. Gerardo takes us to the airport. We fly out, week later. But Arturo had our back, dude. But I was definitely shaking, like, oh boy, this isn't going to be good.
Yeah.
But it could have went a very different way.
Yeah. You just had to revise your your plans for the trip a little bit.
Yeah. So I still think about it to this day. Like when we go up that hill leading up to Zaruma, you make the left on that big intersection where like there should be a stoplight, but they're not existent in Ecuador.
Yep.
And so everyone's just going a million miles a minute, flying everywhere. So like the buses are coming down the hill, and like you just make this big left swooping turn, and that's you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Trying to get up to the city center.